Hello, this is Ms. DB. In this video, we're going to look at how to do a few of the problems from the Chapter 10, Section 2 worksheet. This is on more work with three-dimensional figures. This is different ways of representing three-dimensional figures, so different ways of drawing them. So the first thing we're going to talk about is orthographic views. That is showing a three-dimensional figure from 6 different perspectives. So it's showing it from the top, front, right, bottom, left, back. So all 6 of those need to be drawn. So if you looked at this right from above, you would just see this L shape of squares. If you looked at it from the front, which is what they're showing you now, you see this figure, and so on. So that's called orthographic views. Now, having you be able to fill out these worksheets with Word, it's hard to ask you to draw these. If you're doing it by hand, you can go ahead and practice drawing them. But for most of these, I've made them multiple choice so that you can match them up. So in number 1, you're going to match the views, all 6 of them, the orthographic views, with these 3. And you'll have to use the letters more than once because there's only 3 different views. That means from a couple sides, it's going to look the same. And I did not do the rotating like from top and bottom. Now it depends on, which way you're standing, but these are the same from top or bottom unless, you twisted it around. So the top and bottom might be the same, but, moved around. So you can flip these around if you need to. So top, bottom, left, right, and front and back are the different views here. And the same thing for number 2 and number 3. And again, if you need to use them twice, that's fine. Now in this one for C and D, you can see that you have to pick the correct one for front and back. Now in number 3, if you look at D and E, one of them shows a solid line and one of them shows a dashed. And B and C, again, it's quite particular. The dashed line means that it's an invisible block, and the solid line means that you can see that line. So I'll be lenient on doing those since this is your first time, but it's really, really helpful if you're having trouble with these to get some small cubes, such as sugar cubes work perfectly, and actually build these figures. If you have a little sibling who has blocks, that works as well, or if you still have them in a closet somewhere. Even small square Legos work well. And then you can actually spin it around and look at it from all sides and see which one matches up. All right, so in the next section, there's 2 separate questions here, 4 and 5. They're not the same thing. You're going to look at this figure, and again, if you have cubes, build it. And then you're going to see if these match that. So number 4, they did an orthographic, but in 5, they sketched it with like a see-through version of this, like if they were glass. So you need to decide if yes, this matches this, and separately, if this one matches this. They could be both yes or both no or one of each. And if it's no, explain what the problem is. And you don't have to be super detailed, but say if there's a block out of place or if there's something missing. And that's the same for 10, 11, 12, and 13. I know the numbering does not go sequential from 1 to 12 on this worksheet because I found these problems in different places. And this is the same thing. You're going to see if this figure, this three-dimensional, which again you could build with your own objects, you're going to see if these are a yes or no. Do these sketches represent the exact same figure? And if not, say what the problem is. If there's an extra block or if there's a missing block, and where would that be? And this is the same example again. So all of them are very similar. You're going to be picturing in your mind, don't miss this purple block, whether it would be these diagrams. And it's okay for them to be spun slightly, so rotated. So if this one is exactly the same, I think this one is a yes. It is rotated differently, but the middle is 1, 2, 3 blocks high. cubes. This is 3 cubes across, just like this one. And that purple block showing here would be in the back right here. So number 22, I would say yes. 23 is an orthographic drawing, so you can picture how this would look from all angles and see if it is exactly correct. The front looks good. The back looks good. The left would look like an L, and the right would look like an L. So I think this is also a yes. So then you'll go on and see. Now, 25 looks funny, doesn't it? What's this missing hole here? So if I picture this green, red, orange, blue, orange, yellow, blue, and then that purple one, this block here is too far. This is like the orange block, and it's shoved forward. It needs to go back so that it's lined up with these across. So 25, I would say no, because there is a block out of place, and if you want to refer to the colors, it's the orange block in the original figure is in the wrong spot. All right, so then the last one is just a couple more multiple choice questions. Which three-dimensional view has these 3 views? So this is different. Instead of just using cubes, they're using a larger rectangular prism with a smaller rectangular prism on top. So you have to figure out if A, B, C, or D would match this. And this one would be easy to recreate with 2 boxes, food boxes from your cabinet, one smaller than the other one, and then see what do they look like from the top, the front, and the side. And then the last one is a kind of an interesting figure of 3 figures put together. We've got this cylinder with a cone on top, and then it is part of, kind of merges into this rectangular prism. And then it says which drawing best represents the top view of the 3-dimensional figure. So pick the one that best matches that. So a lot of multiple choice and yes and no answers, but again, build these with objects if you're having any trouble picturing how this rotates. If you've done computer animation or Minecraft and you've played with these and worked with 3-dimensional figures either on a computer or by playing with a lot of blocks when you were a kid, you're going to have an advantage over someone who has never played with toys like this or done the computer type games where you're actually building things and then spinning it around and seeing how it looks like from all angles. So it's a skill that some of us need to work more on. I'm somebody who I would want to actually build these objects and look at them from all dimensions, because I did not have a lot of building experience as a kid or as an adult. So that's fine that you have to work at it if that's you. Just go get some blocks, ask your mom to buy you some sugar cubes or your dad, and build these things and then look at them from all sides. All right, have a wonderful day. Please let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.